In the world of Supercross, he is the man of the hour. But last week in Anaheim, he only needed just over 20 minutes to make his statement. Australian Chad Reed is the clear-cut favorite to win this year's 250 Supercross title. With speed, precision, and a near-flawless line, Chad Reed dominated Anaheim. This week, he is out to continue his streak and conquer the Valley of the Sun as he drives the blue train. It's 250 Supercross Racing, and it's next on ESPN2. Welcome you to Phoenix, Arizona's Bank One Ballpark for the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. And hello once again, everybody. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele. Last week in Anaheim, California, a lot of questions surrounding Chad Reed, the shoulder. Hadn't been on the bike for a long time. He answered all the questions.
The doubters were silenced instantly. Chad Reed came out and just completely annihilated everybody at Anaheim. He looked 100% even though we know he's not.
Well, last week, folks, before we came on the air, Cameron Steele picked the podium in order. Looking at your crystal ball this week, Merlin, what do you see?
Well, I'm definitely seeing the blue crew up on the top again. Maybe Mike LaRocco sneaking in there. He was second fast in practice. Tim Ferry, fastest rider in the final practice. Reed third. And let's give a shout out real quick to Michael Byrne, who was fifth fast. It looks like he's got the first race jitters out of the way.
We are almost set to go here in Bank One Ballpark. Right now, let's check out the road to Vegas, the standings. And they are going to be tight throughout the year. As we look at the AMA standings, it's Chad Reed on top, followed by Vuillemin and Timmy Ferry. As we look at the THQ World Supercross standings, it's a little different. Tyler Evans is on top of the board, followed by Grant Langston. Those two got together last week. Cameron, quickly, has that been resolved?
It has been resolved. They actually talked here at this event in Arizona. They say, oh, we're still friends, but you know what? When they get on the track, they're gladiators. They're fighting out for their share of $250,000. There will be bumping and grinding in Supercross.
Folks, we are just about set to go racing right now. Let's check in with Jamie Little.
Last weekend's 250 main event looked to be disastrous for Ezra Lusk. He was running in second when he dropped his nose in the whoops and went down. He was told that his navicular bone was broken. At that point, he jumped on a plane, went home to get it fixed. They told him, hey, nothing's broken. You got a little sprain. Get back out there and race in Phoenix. So here he is in Phoenix. He's taping it up. He couldn't be happier that he got the good news. He's going to be racing tonight, and I'll tell you right now, he had one of the fastest lap times in practice.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie. As things are getting set here in Phoenix, let's check in with Cameron. It's the THQ Track Experience.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the THQ Track Experience, where we take you on board. You get to see the look, but you don't have to eat the roost. Andrew Short, one of the 125 riders, taking us through that rhythm section. We will see 250s jumping through that area in multiple ways, including a quad at the end. That was the big triple. Close your eyes, hang on. You can see his view on the right. Another section where 250s will be tripling through. A step on, step off. You can see it's jarring, but still a lot of fun. Andrew Short is having a good time showing us the track. Step on, step off, and that is your THQ Track Experience.
250, heat number one, staging up on the line here in Phoenix, Arizona, as we take a look at our starting grid. David Vuillemin in here, Tim Ferry and Tyler Evans right there, a lot of power, but don't forget the Fonz, Ernesto Fonseca.
Well, you definitely point out Ernesto. He's been good with the hole shots. Been talking a lot about how quick he is out of the gate. We're going to have to definitely watch out for him. And Tyler Evans right there on the 58, he is going to be wearing our onboard camera.
One thing about Tyler Evans, you're always guaranteed a show because the guy rides hard 24/7. Wish him the best of luck tonight as he goes out there. 30 board is sideways. We are set to go racing here in Phoenix. It's 250 heat number one. Look at that. The Fonz shooting out to the front. Ernesto Fonseca picking up the whole shot.
Ernesto, and then props to Damon Huffman moving to the inside of Tim Ferry. That's Damon Huffman on the Moto bike, the number 20 bike. And Ernesto staying in front. That's David Vuillemin on the 12. And Sean Hamlin.
Oh, my.
I'm sorry.
Sean Hamlin was right there. You were right, Cameron. He showed a little tired of Fonseca. Vuillemin really impressed me. He looked like he was going to close the door, but unable to do it. And look at Hamlin to the inside.
We knew riders would be going 3-3 or 4-3. And 4 out is the hardest line, and actually Sean Hamlin does it in the first lap in traffic and makes the pass on Ernesto Fonseca. I gotta say, after last week's performance, I'm a little bit surprised, but I will say that Sean told me, I just want to forget about last week. I was uptight, I wasn't feeling it. Right now, he's Byrne blast. He's kind of known as an outdoor specialist, or he has been, and those 3 S-turns you see there are unique to this Phoenix course.
Sean Hamlin, your leader. This is 250 heat number 1. He comes to us from Murrieta, California, on board the Suzuki RM250. And Hamlin really, he showed Fonseca a wheel a couple times. I didn't think Fonzie would let him get by. And here comes Ernesto.
That's the weak spot of that 4-out line that Hamlin's been doing. You have to roll the first obstacle, which basically stops all your momentum. Ernie gets by when Sean has a little bit of a bobble, so to speak.
But he can triple, because we were watching him in practice. Sean can triple that out. This time Ernesto saw the opening, took it. Here comes Hamlin right back.
Well, Hamlin definitely doesn't have the experience or the wins that the man behind him does. David Vuillemin, no stranger to the podium. He's been on top of it, and he is chasing. They call him the Cobra, and he can strike at any time.
The Tissot running order looks like this quickly. It's Ernesto Fonseca, then Sean Hamlin and David Vuillemin in the top 3. And here comes Hamlin one more time. Showed him a wheel. This is going to be something camera we're going to have to watch all the time. Let's go back and look at the pass one more time earlier.
What happened here is Sean singled in and then went to seat bounce through. He mistimed it, catches the top. Ernesto goes right by him, back to the live racing action. Ernesto still leading Hamlin. I thought maybe Vuillemin was going to show him some tire, but he hasn't. And Tim Ferry, who's running the number 15 Yamaha in 4th place, he was the fastest rider, as I said before, in the final practice, and we'll see if that pays off for him.
You are watching 250 heat number 1 from Phoenix, Arizona. Here comes Sean Hamlin again. Your leader, though, Ernesto Fonseca. He is followed by Sean Hamlin, then David Vuillemin, and Tim Ferry.
Ernesto possibly gaining some confidence by winning in Europe the 2nd round, a 1st place, his first ever stop on top of the podium in the 250s, and leading a heat race. I mean, this gives you confidence to win the main. The best guys are out there. The fastest guy on the day, 2nd and 3rd from last week. You can see right there the interval back 3 seconds, but now Vuillemin. It's going to be the interval back to Vuillemin, because David has made his move.
His venom is deadly, folks. David Vuillemin making the pass on Sean Hamlin. And here's that section again. Hamlin looks like he still hasn't figured out. He's going to lose another position, this time to Tim Ferry.
And you can see the Yamaha is tripling through there. I think it's tough. You know, there's lines that can be faster on the track if you can nail them every time. Right. But some guys say you can't hit that line every single time. It's not worth doing.
We're going to step aside when we come back. More 250 racing from Phoenix, Arizona. Stay with us. We are back to Phoenix, Arizona. Your leader, 250 heat number 1, number 24, Ernesto Fonseca, but he is getting the pressure from France's David Vuillemin, sitting right there, number 12, on board the Yamaha. He goes to the inside, and Fonseca just gets enough throttle to get past him, and in 3rd place is 15, Timmy Ferry. So the Yamaha is breathing down his back, and this time he does it again. Fonseca just escapes death.
The first time, whoa, Tim Ferry getting a little squirrely there, but still making the pass. David Vuillemin maybe pulling up, seeing that his teammate was coming in a little hot. You saw David put the wheel on Ernesto the first spot. That's where he made the pass on Hamlin. And now David moves backwards after trying so hard there. You know, sometimes you push real hard, you go backwards.
But Cameron, I got to ask you, if David Vuillemin had not seen blue coming to his picture right there's no way he would have pulled up.
He probably would have cleaned someone off the berm. Nah, David's not that kind of guy, but he definitely was paying more. Oh, almost a slip-up. We talked about the loose dirt. Anaheim, where we were last time, is hard packed and gets a little blue groove. Here the dirt is staying loose, and the guys are throwing some more roost and getting a little more slippery. You see Ernesto getting a little squirrely in the whoops. Last week he crashed there, and Vuillemin coming to the inside. Awesome job getting by Red Dog Tim Ferry.
So while Fonseca continues to lead here in the 250 heat number 1, Team Yamaha goes 2 and 3, and they're having a nice battle royale themselves. Tim Ferry now shuffled back to 3rd. David Vuillemin re-inherits 2nd place. I'll tell you what, we talked about it. Timmy Ferry was very fast in practice. Look at that line. He's coming in right on Vuillemin.
He's definitely, looks like they're kind of single file. Okay, now let's see what happens. They're using the same technique there. One guy could have gone outside and stepped on, stepped off. There's a few places on the track that you can do that. Vuillemin coming short and bouncing off into the flats. Ferry, look at these guys. This is a great battle. And this part of the course, the S-turn. 3 turns, no jumps in between, kind of flat corners, gives room for guys to go either or. Let's see who carries the speed, and Ferry dropping and having a problem. The Cobra likes that inside line.
But here's the section that Timmy Ferry likes. Look at him come in here. Watch him go to the inside. Squares it off, cuts down Vuillemin, but Vuillemin this time smart enough to go to the inside and cut him right back.
Yeah, now we're racing in Phoenix, moving back and forth, a little blocking back and forth, but very clean, just taking the lines from each other. You gotta love it, folks. Stand up and yell.
Right now, let's check in with Jamie Little. Jamie, what do you got?
I'm standing here with Jason Haynes, the mechanic for David Vuillemin, and he's all smiles. He's jumping up and down. He's writing on the pit board. He said, this is good stuff. I'm liking it.
All right, thank you, Jamie. It is good stuff indeed, and I guarantee with the white flag out, I know a guy, David Bailey, who works with David Vuillemin. He's got to be happy. Right now, though, Sean Hamlin back in the picture.
Diving inside of Hamlin, and then also the 58 Suzuki, Tyler Evans coming in here. Remember, 5th place has to go into the semifinal. Only 4 qualify as they charge to the whoops. Vuillemin moves back past Hamlin. Let's see how these lines come up. This next section after this triple is where there's either or options. Hamlin's been going inside. Let's see what he does here. He does it again. Tyler Evans back on board. Whoa, that's a ride I don't want to take.
So David Vuillemin moves back into his 3rd place position. He thought he was having his own private battle with teammate Tim Ferry, who sits in 2nd, number 15, and enters Sean Hamlin. So give credit to Sean Hamlin. Meanwhile, Ernesto Fonseca is going to bring it around, and the confidence that has got to be going through Ernesto's mind right now is huge. The checkered flags are out. Your Heat 1 winner, Ernesto Fonseca. Tim Ferry will check in for 2nd. David Vuillemin gets 3rd. Sean Hamlin, a tremendous ride, will get 4th. Unfortunately, Tyler Evans in the helmet cam will have to go to semi number 1. What a great race. 250 Heat number 1. Your winner, Ernesto Fonseca. He's followed by Tim Ferry, David Vuillemin, and Sean Hamlin, all transferring automatically to the main event. Right now, let's check in with Jamie.
Ernie, I know a lot of people agree that was the best race we've seen of the season so far. What was it like out there battling with those guys?
Yeah, we had a tough race. You know, my bike was working great, and the track's slippery. It's going to be tricky. You know, we got to do 20 good laps. You got to be consistent, and you can't make any mistakes, you know, but it's going to be tough, and real happy for Honda, and, you know, just hopefully we can have a good main event.
Ernesto Fonseca showing he's not scared to mix it up with the big boys.
So we move on to 250 Heat number 2. The name that jumps out, number 22, Chad Reed, the man who dominated last week in Anaheim, California. But don't forget the Rock Mike. LaRocco's in there, as is a host of other talented riders, including the man who won here last year in Ezra Lusk.
There you see the 22 bike, Chad Reed, getting ready on the starting line. I also want to talk about Ezra Lusk. After the last event in Anaheim, he went home and got x-rays. He thought he was going to have surgery on a broken wrist. Turns out it's not broken. And let's remember, Todd, check it out. This is how they're going to qualify for the main. 20 riders in the main event, 20 laps, and in the qualifiers, 4 go through, in the semi, 5 go through, and in the last chance qualifier, only 2 spots.
That is a tough race right there with only 2 spots on the line. The 30 board is up. This is 250 Heat number 2 from Phoenix, Arizona. The 30 board goes sideways, and we are set. In the center of your screen, number 22, Chad Reed bumping a little bit. It's Ezra Lusk, number 11 on the inside. And look at 14, Kevin Windham.
The 34, Clark Styles, Team Subway Honda, getting a great jump out of the gate. One of the bigger guys in the sport.
But it's Windham to the inside line. It's Kevin Windham who takes the lead.
And not totally surrendering there is Clark Styles, but he's about to surrender to Ezra Lusk on the inside. Windham and Lusk. Yes, I like it. Let's see if these guys get in a battle. Ezra Lusk, I was talking to him.
Oh, Chad Reed's gone down.
Oh.
In the whoop sections, Chad Reed has got tangled up with a rider, and it's a pile-up.
You can see bikes piling up, guys trying to get out of the way. It's a little bit of a blind area where you hop over there, and we're still taking a look as riders are going through.
The good news is, though, Cameron, sorry to interrupt you. The good news, Chad Reed is up, and he's back up and riding. It looks like everyone is moving, but it was a pile of bikes that went down. Chad looks like he got clipped from behind. The wheel went down in a terrible section, as you pointed out, a blind section.
We'll see just how fast Chad Reed is, and hopefully no damage to the shoulder or any other part. We know coming in, you see him right there. He's just adjusting his lever. Hitting up his brake lever is what he's doing there to get it up in the position. Most of the guys ride their levers pretty tight, but when they fall down, they want them to move instead of braking, so there is a little bit of way for them to move down when they hit the ground. So take a look back at the start. Reed had a little bit of a tough go. He gets bumped here. It looks like ties up with Mach 1 Yamaha's Heath Voss, and he's in the middle of the pack, a dangerous place to be. And in the back, you can see it looks like riders taking kind of different angles. Chad goes down into another rider, so hooking up and on top of someone else, and Chad moving through right now. Looks like he's moving smoothly. We'll see if he can catch back up.
So Chad Reed is shuffled all the way back to 15th place. He will make some moves, no question about it. But remember, folks, only the top 4 to the main event, and your leader right now, number 14, Kevin Windham, on board that big Honda.
Kevin had a heat win last week and then didn't come through with the goods. You see a different line there, hopping over that last obstacle. Last week, he didn't have the best finish in the main event. I was talking to his mechanic, Jonathan. Oh, you see Luss stepping through there on that triple. Talking to his mechanics, they changed their shock setup. The bike was too stiff, they said. So when he entered the whoops on the gas, when he was aggressive, it wasn't working right. So they softened the bike up just a little bit. They think that's going to make a huge difference. Remember, Kevin Windham hasn't been riding Supercross in basically 2 years. He's back out here. And Ezra Lusk, guy that was a question mark, Todd, they talked about a possible broken wrist, which they decided it is not. He didn't ride all week long. He first rode in the practice on Friday here in Arizona, and he's looking great right now. And
so Mike LaRocco done for the heat. That's the bad news. Looks like he's relatively healthy as they take a look over the bike at the Rock's giving that million-mile stare, though, looking for someone to maybe point a finger at. He is obviously not happy about the situation.
The bike a little bent up, looks like just his subframe, not a problem for his mechanics to fix. And you see triple, double coming through there for Windham. And he continues to just kind of tear it up and looking a little loose.
Your leader, heat number 2 right now, is Kevin Windham. We'll step aside from Phoenix, Arizona. We'll be back to Bank One Ballpark after this. Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona. We'll have more 250 racing in just a moment. But one of the featured spectacles here at Bank One Ballpark, Supercross Fan Fest. A little something for everyone. Music, food, and entertainment right here on the grounds of Bank One Ballpark. And if that's not enough, the King was also on hand. Jeremy McGrath signing his new book, Wide Open. It's Supercross Fan Fest from Phoenix. Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona's Bank One Ballpark. You're looking at the battle for the 4th transfer position. That's number 26, Michael Byrne, just getting past number 34, Clark Stiles. Remember, only the top 4 go right to the main event. Everyone else has to go to semifinal number 2. And Cameron, that's just one more race these guys don't want to have.
Definitely not. And Clark Stiles has been looking great, but in practice today, Burner just looked like he was ready to tear it up. He actually jumped in behind Chad Reed, and Michael Byrne has done a great job for the factory Kawasaki people. He's their only 250 rider, and he's out there doing it on the number 26 bike. I think he's definitely going to be a factor as the year moves on. Only his 2nd race with the team.
Michael Byrne, originally from Australia, now living in Temecula, California. Behind him is Clark Stiles, number 34. Stiles trying to get back up in there. And he comes to us from Athens, Alabama on the Honda CRF 450R. There you see number 26 is Michael Byrne. Making the jump over Cameron is not always an easy thing. It's worked for Ivan Tedesco in the 125 class, and it looks like it's working for Michael Byrne.
It is, and there's a different setup that each bike has. You know, he was riding Hondas, which have a little bit more of a different style frame, a little bit more rigid. You have to set your suspension a little different than maybe the Kawasaki. Looks like he's got it dialed in. He's looking good here again. The triple, not electing to do anything different than the other guys. And well, Kevin Windham just continues to tear it up. He's putting in some great lap times, actually.
As we take a look at the TSO running order, it's Kevin Windham out in front. He is followed by number 11, Ezra Lusk. And then Grant Langston, number 8, on board the KTM, has moved into 3rd place. We talked about Grant Langston getting together with Tyler Evans last week in Anaheim, California. Fortunately, not in the same heat race, so we won't see them until later on in the evening. But Grant Langston doing a great job. Another rider who has done a lot in the offseason. After picking up that 125 outdoor title, he moves into the 250 class.
And both Windham and Lusk turning in the 55s. Actually, Windham almost matching the fastest practice time of Tim Ferry, so he's definitely wicked it up. He was down around, about 8th, I'd say. Yeah, that's what it is, 8th in final practice. And Lusk, the question mark with Lusk is going to be in the main event. He told me the wrist doesn't hurt per se in one direction more than the other. It just kind of sore all the time. But the fatigue factor, after 19 laps, how is he going to feel? This is going to help not having to go anywhere other than the heat.
No question. Ezra Lusk can go back to his trailer, relax, get the therapy on his arm, and just wait for the main event. Currently sits in second place. There you see, just under 2 seconds behind your leader, Kevin Windham, who's on board the Honda Lusk. One of the guys making the jump. He jumps over to a Yamaha after being on a Kawasaki for so many years. And it was last year at this same venue that he picked up that big victory on board the Kawasaki.
So awesome last year, Ezra winning, and it'd be so cool to see him win again. Oh, face full of roost, just committing, and they're wheeling over that last bump, trying to keep as much speed and forward momentum going as possible. And, you know, if we're looking here, it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Lusk has moved a little closer to Mr. Windham there.
We're on the final lap. This is 250, heat number 2. They've got a lap rider in between them. That's number 46. But Ezra trying to make a move up, as Cameron pointed out. You want to finish as high as possible. Gives you a better pick at the line. He's just going to run out of Phoenix real estate as Kevin Windham brings it around. Your winner, heat number 2, Kevin Windham.
One of the sweetest whips in the business.
Ezra Lusk picks up a well-deserved second place. Chad Reed, who is up in front, is moving fast. But again, he's going to run out of real estate. Right now, he sits in 8th place behind Joe Aloff, number 57. And a tough break for Reed. I just hope the shoulder's okay, Cameron.
It looks like he's fine. They'll probably go back, take a look at the motorcycle. I got a few bucks that says he'll come back and win the semi. But you never know. Anything can happen.
No question. You just don't want to put yourself in that position. They come through. Joe Aloff holds him off as they cross the finish line. So Reed will finish 7th. Aloff gets a 6th. But for Chad Reed, I'm sure very disappointed because that's one more race.
For sure. Did you see the look over from Aloff just kind of checking it out? Windham right there, all stoked.
Take a look at those results. It's Kevin Windham picking up the Heat 2 victory. He's followed by Ezra Lusk. Grant Langston gets in there, as does Michael Byrne. So those 4 go right to the main event. Right now, let's check in with Jamie Little.
Kevin, I know you didn't have the results you wanted last weekend, but you don't seem the least bit discouraged. You still got a smile on your face, and you're still riding like you could take home a win here tonight.
Absolutely. You know, that's been my whole motto to my return to racing. You know, I'm not going to get down when I have a bad result. They happen no matter who you are, no matter how good you are. And it's great to be back. Supercross proved to be a little bit tougher to get used to than my return to the outdoors. But still in all, I feel great and looking forward to a good ride tonight.
All right, I'll tell you what, guys, there's so many people down here congratulating him. You would have thought it was a main event win.
Upcoming races look like this. Make your travel plans now. On the 17th, we're going back to Anaheim. On the 24th, some say the Supercross Mecca, San Diego, California's Qualcomm Stadium. And on the 34th, our final visit to Anaheim, California's Edison International Field. Call your travel agent and join us live. Right now, it's time for the Suzuki Question of the Week.
I want to know more about Suzuki's Sean Hamlin.
Sean Hamlin, basically from Murrieta, California, just bought my new house, my first house. Everything's going well. Been on Suzuki now for 2 years. Looking forward to another great year with them. Bikes are well, and I feel it's my time to do well. So looking forward to a good year. You know, with me and my team, my mechanic, we've been working hard, and so you know, just looking forward to a great year. So thanks for asking Suzuki Question of the Week.
And we wish Sean Hamlin the very best this year. He certainly is a talent on the rise. Right now, let's take a look at our 250 qualifying highlights. 250, semi number 1. Cameron, the gate drops, and everyone stampedes for the whole shot.
5 guys are going to qualify into the main event. Nick Way getting a great start right out of the gates. It would be a stampede through, and Nick Way would come home with checkered flag.
So Nick Way would advance on in semi number 2. It was like this. Chad Reed in a semi race. Hard to believe, but there he was. And Joe Aloff coming out looking good as they come through the first turn.
Definitely all the guys on the gas, and Chad Reed moving through. Joe Aloff and he going back and forth just a bit with Jimmy Wilson on the 128 bike. But in the end, it was Chad Reed.
Chad Reed will continue on, picking up the checkered flag and the victory. And finally, the last chance qualifier, the big race. Only 2 spots, 2 guys transferring on to the main event. For everyone else, their night would be done.
And it got tight and a little squirrely here. Both Clark Stiles and Jason Thomas going down from the Team Subway Honda guys. They would not advance on. Obviously, it would be Mike Brown and Keith Johnson.
So Brownie makes his first ever main event in the 250s. We take a look at the Thor qualifying highlights from Semi 1, Semi 2, and the Last Chance qualifier. When we come back to Phoenix, Arizona, the 250 main event straight ahead. Stay with us. Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona at Bank One Ballpark for the THQ AMA Supercross Series, the THQ World Supercross GP. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele and Jamie Little. We are just about set for the 250 main event as we get a good look at Red Dog. Timmy Ferry, number 15, on board the Yamaha. And that takes us right to our Nissan rider profile.
Well, there's a lot of blue in the picture. That's because, well, I'm wearing my ESPN garb, and we got the blue crew. They're not blue because they're upset or unhappy. They're blue because they're Yamaha riders. It's the Red Dog, Tim Ferry, Yogi, Ezra Lusk in the house riding together. And, well, the first question I have is, I mean, Chad Reed dislocates his shoulder in the off-season, and they're saying he was playing pool. I wanted to know which one of you guys actually took him out at the test track to set that up. Red Dog?
It was Ezra.
It was Ezra?
I'm sure the finger probably could have been pointed at me, but I wasn't even in the same state. So.
Yeah, me neither. You guys are supposed to play nice with your teammates, and well, you guys are all out at the test track together. Ezra, I want to ask you, what's it like? I mean, last year, riding with Kawasaki, you were the solo 250 guy. You didn't get to test and ride with a lot of guys. How was it riding with Timmy, a guy that you're, friendly with, and being out there with Chad and even DV12?
It's actually fun. You really want to have somebody else on the team that's either your speed or better, or somebody to shoot for, just somebody even close to be able to race with.
Or shoot at.
Or shoot at. Either one of the three. And, it was fun. It's probably the best 2 weeks I've had testing and riding, period, since I've, rode Honda and rode with Kevin Windham and Cortelli. It's been a while.
It's been a while since you've been on the track with a few guys. Now, Red, I want to ask you, you've been riding with these guys for a couple years. Now you got Ezra on the team as well. Of course, Heath Voss. What do you guys expect from the blue team this year? I mean, obviously championships, I know we're going to hear that, but are you guys all focused, ready to go? Or are you guys ready to rock? You guys been doing your push-ups, little jumping jacks? I mean, what's the routine been?
I think really, all of us getting to ride together, we're all kind of going a little faster. That's what helped mainly me and Chad last year go fast. This year we got Ezra, who's riding really good on the new bike. I don't know, I think we're definitely going to win a lot of races, and we got definitely a strong team. We got 3 or 4 guys that can win a race at any time.
All right, well, that's all we're going to take from these guys because they let everybody down the track walk. If I ask them one more question, they're going to give me the right cross. That's it.
Oh, my partner, Cameron Steele, having fun with the boys in blue. Well done, Cameron. Right now, let's take a look at our Suzuki main event. Starting grid and the talent line, the cup runneth over. Kevin Windham, Ernesto Fonseca, Ezra Lusk, Timmy Ferry. Look at Chad Reed. Not the best pick, but I have a feeling the Australian's going to be good when the time comes for him to run. Tyler Evans is in this big show, Robbie Reynard, and Mike LaRocco as well. Too many to name, 20 riders going 20 laps. Let's quickly check in with Jamie.
Earlier, guys, I talked with Jeff Spencer, the trainer for Chad Reed, and he says, each week they debrief after the race. They talk about what happened, the circumstances at hand. Some weeks they work on more mental things. Other weeks they work on more physical things. It's all about how Chad Reed is feeling and how he's doing. And tonight, I'm sure they worked out those bugs that happened earlier, and they're going to do something here in the main.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie. The 30 board is up. Everyone getting set. Cameron, at this point, is there any preparation, or is it just go time?
Well, there's definitely preparation. Everybody has their own ideas on how to get the whole shot or the best way. Some guys look straight down at the gate. Some guys look to the side. Different guys have different combinations of how they start with both legs down, one leg up on the shifter. And the cart is sideways. Let's watch them start. Heck with what we think.
30 board is sideways. This is the 250 main from Phoenix, Arizona. Oh, the Butterfinger hole shot going home with number 14, Kevin Windham on board the Honda. Here comes the Cobra, David Vuillemin on the inside. It is Windham and Vuillemin, and they get together, and it's going to be Windham who gets pushed out.
David Vuillemin with the great move. You see him grab the blade. Oh, look at that!
Oh, my!
Oh, wow! Oh, Kevin Windham, what is up? Throwing down. David Vuillemin gives him just a little bit in one of the corners, and Windham cuts it tight and gives him a big one-up.
Oh my.
Call it payback, call it what you will, but wow, that was a pretty serious move right there.
I have a feeling the folks at Yamaha are going to look at that piece of tape a lot, and I know his coach, David Bailey, is going to be working on him a lot to make sure that does not happen again. Meanwhile, back to racing action. Into the green flag lap we go. Remember, 20 laps, and your leader right now, number 14, Kevin Windham. Welcome back to Supercross.
Well, in the early part of the show, we talked about the boys in blue, and right now it's all red. Kevin Windham, The Rock, Mike LaRocco.
And here's your Butterfinger hole shot. Look for number 14. Out of nowhere, he just grabs a little extra gear, Cameron, and just throttles through there. But there's number 12, and here it comes. There's David Vuillemin, number 12.
He's actually hugging the inside. He jumped inside. Windham just one-upped him on the inside. And wow, the Cobra off the track. And man, he's got to be frustrated. We'll see how he regroups. You know, hopefully mentally he'll be able to stay in it and charge forward. And well, Kevin Windham, everybody's been talking about how fast he was going at the Honda test track. And well, at the first round, it looked like he was just getting the bugs out. Right now,
and what's a surprise to me, Cameron, is Chad Reed is way in the back of the pack. Reed sliding all the way back out of, well, now he's moved up to almost to 5th place. So Chad Reed moving up. But your leader right now, as we look at the Tissot running order, is Kevin Windham out in front, Mike LaRocco in 2nd, and Nick Way in 3rd. Here comes Chad Reed.
Way having problems in the whoops, but regardless of it, if you went through there smooth, Reed was coming, and well, Reedy's scrubbing some speed, throwing the whip, grabbing a tear off, and his next sight set on Mike LaRocco. Now, The Rock is not an easy guy to get by. He can get wide and hold his elbows up, and I'm not saying that Chad's going to get by anyway. LaRocco had the 2nd fastest time in the final practice. When we talked about times all the time, they really don't matter. The track changes. Bikes get more adapt to what the track, so you can see it slippery, a little bit dusty out there. And I think Chad's got some different lines. You see him going a little bit different section there than The Rock did.
Well, the problem for Chad Reed right now is he cannot run the same pace as Mike LaRocco, because gradually Kevin Windham is starting to pull away. So Mike LaRocco is doing a fellow Honda right a favor. As long as he can hold off Chad Reed, it's going to be nothing but good for Kevin Windham. And I don't know how patient Chad Reed's going to be. Remember, he had to go through a semi to get to the main event, and here he comes to the whoops.
Wow, LaRocco transferring across. And what you saw happen there is he started to drop and started to get a little bit out of control, but LaRocco held it, stayed on top of the whoops and kept going. And looks like Reedy's going to come right up here and go to the outside. He's taking a look at the lines, outside in, over the triple. Watch Chad. He pushes down when he goes off the face and scrubs speed. He gets back on the ground sooner. And
LaRocco cuts off his line, and look what Chad does. He squares it out, goes to the inside. Chad Reed picks up yet another spot. So just 2 laps ago, Chad Reed wasn't in the top 7, and here he is now moving into 2nd place, just ahead of number 5, Mike LaRocco. So Kevin Windham, number 14, out in front. Now in 2nd place is Chad Reed, number 22, and in 3rd, Mike LaRocco, number 5.
And the lap time, just so you know, a 56.0 for Windham and a 56.1 for Reed. So close, but Windham is faster, and you can't see that he's not in the picture on some of these when you see the turns and openings for Reed. So Windham has a little bit of breathing room.
We are back to Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix, Arizona. This is the 250 main event, and your leader, number 14, Kevin Windham. Right now, by my calculations, he has got a 7-second lead over 2nd place, number 22, Chad Reed. Kevin Windham, if you're just joining us, did not get the best start. He got the whole start, and he moved ahead, but it was David Vuillemin who came in. He took Vuillemin out. Whether you call it riding or not, I'll leave that up to you. We'll look at it one more time later on the show, but Kevin Windham is your leader as he leads them through, coming up on the halfway point of the 250 main event. Chad Reed, who won last week in Anaheim, sits in 2nd place, and Mike LaRocco, number 5, sits in 3rd.
Windham is just poetry when he's on his game. He is so smooth and just so polished all the time, and he just seems to have everything clicking right now. And he's won Supercrosses in the past, and wow, I mean, 8 laps in, there's 20 to go. Anything can happen. He's just looking so great, Todd.
Well, I just did another time check on Kevin Windham. He has got about a 7-second lead, so he's picked up almost a full second on Chad Reed on lap number 8 as he comes through one more time. His time almost 56 seconds even. Chad Reed coming in at 56.105. But Kevin Windham, you give him space, you give him time, and he can really make that 4-stroke work. The folks at Honda happy that he is back into Supercross after laying out for almost a full year. And there you see the gap to second place. There's Chad Reed, number 22, winner last week at Anaheim, California, just coming into view. And they are running very close. The problem is Kevin Windham got that great start, picking up the Butterfinger hole shot, and he is out in front and just running away with this thing. Chad Reed has got to find a way to track him down.
Well, the last time Windham won a Supercross, back on the 8th of April in 2000, Irving, Texas, what my book is saying here, and LaRocco still charging, and LaRocco not really having a challenger from behind. Fonseca is the rider behind him in 4th place. And wow. Todd, you know, it's kind of, these guys have spread out a bit in this course. Everybody kind of has the same line. There are some options, and it doesn't really give for guys moving back and forth quite a bit. The big separator seems to be the whoops, even though this time it looked like they were a little bit tighter and they were going to be easier for the guys to skim. It's still separating some of the guys. It's probably because they're so deep and sharp. And Ernesto Fonseca, who won a heat race, and, well, he's been having no problem skimming them right there.
Ernesto Fonseca picked up a big heat win in heat number 1. He had a lot of talent in there. There was no fluke. Fonseca running very smooth. Cameron's pointed out he picked up a victory earlier on the THQ World Supercross GP in Arnhem, his first 250 main event victory. So right now, Fonseca running smooth as we go back to 5th place. That is number 27, Nick Way.
And new to the factory Suzuki squad, Roger DeCoster and a team picking him up this year. You see him tripling that inside section there in that, it's like a double-double-double. And wow, right behind him, Tyler Evans sneaking into the picture. So Evans continuing to charge. Last week a 6th place for Evans, and that's where he's sitting right now.
Tyler Evans has such an upside of potential. We got to keep an eye on that guy. He's wearing the helmet cam tonight as we continue to watch number 27, Nick Way, who sits right now in 5th place, just 2 spots off the podium. The man running away with it right now as the Tissot running order comes up. We'll take a look at Kevin Windham, number 14, out in front.
Evans having a little bit of trouble dropping a tire there, and you can see Sean Hamblin coming behind him. Here we're on board with Tyler Evans getting that section quite nice, and not far back is Hamlin, so Evans needs to get revving and have a little bit of problem with the onboard, but there you see the Monster Energy rider doing it up.
Your leader at Bank One Ballpark in the 250 main event, Kevin Windham. We'll be back to Phoenix with more of the 250 main after this. Back inside Bank One Ballpark, Phoenix, Arizona, your leader in the 250 main event, Kevin Windham. As we look at the Tissot running order, it's Windham, Reed, and LaRocco going 1, 2, and 3. Ezra Lust sitting in 4th. If you're just joining us, Kevin Windham got the whole shot, lost the lead on the first lap to David Vuillemin, and then those two got together, and Vuillemin just ejected off the track. He has now slid back to 7th place, and Kevin Windham moved into 1st. He has not relinquished that lead despite the hard charge of Chad Reed, but Chad Reed unable to get closer than 6 seconds.
The last lap, actually, times coming in right now for Chad Reed, a 57.0 and a 57.8 for Windham. So Chad Reed is moving up a little bit. We'll see about conditioning now. When you talk about conditioning, you would think it would be a problem with Reed's shoulders. You see Windham going by and lapping Mike Brown, but the gap is shrinking, and they have a couple laps still to go here. We'll see if Chad Reed can come up and get a little closer. About 5 seconds, is it, Todd?
5 seconds exactly. Chad Reed has shaved off over a second on there. But Cameron, you make a good point. We're on lap 18 of 20. Can Chad Reed shave 5 seconds off Kevin Windham's lead as he goes through one more time? And there you see Windham has looked flawless. This is not the Kevin Windham we saw in Anaheim last week.
It definitely isn't. I'm not sure if it's just the suspension setup that they changed, or if it's also the fact that Kevin had a Supercross under his belt. Now, you got to remember, the last time he raced a Supercross, he broke his femur, and that's a giant bone in your leg. It's your thigh bone.
and that is not something fun to do. It's one of the most painful injuries you can have, and here we're taking a look at Chad Reed, who has been shaving the time, but can he get back up there?
Let's check in with Jamie real quick.
Ernesto Fonseca pulled off the track. He had a bench shifter lever. Kenny Germain, his mechanic, was on his back, kicking that thing to get straight again. Ernie went back out on the track, but he's slow going.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Yeah, Ernesto Fonseca, about lap 10, was sitting in 4th place. He's currently sitting in 19th place, so tough going for Ernesto Fonseca after a great start. Meanwhile, we watch Chad Reed trying to whittle down, and right now I think he's wishing this race would go 25, maybe 26 laps, but the white flag is out. This is the final lap, 250 main event from Phoenix.
And you know, the talk was after last week, it was, well, Chad's going to sweep them all. I mean, include me in that group. We were all talking about how fast. I know you're pointing at yourself, Todd. Everybody's like, well, are we just going to have the Chad Reed show? But the crowd is cheering right now for K-Dub, the 14 Honda. Kevin Windham circling in the lead, and he has been looking great.
Well, if you remember, my friend, before the show, we were thinking, who's going to win this? And I think I'm going to claim I saw something in Kevin Windham at practice today. He's very methodical. He was looking at spots on the track where he could make up time, and I think he knew if he could get that 4-stroke out to a good start, there was reason that he could run with anyone out on the track, and he's done so today. Number 14, it's been a long time coming. Your winner in the 250 main event, Kevin Windham. And give credit to Chad Reed. He got that lead down to about 3 seconds. You don't know what would happen with a few more, but it'll be interesting to see what happens when David Vuillemin comes through. I don't think he's going to be as enthusiastic about Wyndham's victory as he is. But congratulations to Kevin Windham picking up a Supercross victory after a long layoff. He got a nice tune-up during the Outdoor Nationals. Cameron got some victories over Ricky Carmichael. So Kevin Windham picks up his 7th career 250 Supercross win. Well done, Kevin. As Kevin Windham goes around for a well-deserved victory lap, we'll step aside when we come back. The conclusion of the 250 show from Phoenix. Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona, Bank One Ballpark. What a great 250 main we were treated to. Right now, let's set it down to the floor and Jamie Little.
Mike, what a night for you. Tell us about making it to the main. First of all, what happened?
Well, I got maybe a little over a quarter lap this week, and Chad Reed cleaned us both out, and we happened to fall on the backside of a jump, and everybody just kept landing on us. It was kind of a blind spot, so my bike was demolished. I mean, it looked like it got run over by a bulldozer. So, you know, my crew at Factory Connection, Amsoil, Chaparral Honda put the thing back together. I think I looked out there several times. There's like 8 guys working on the thing. So, you know, thanks to them for getting me out there, and you know, just did what I could after that. I rode a little bit tight. You know, I got a little banged up in that, but hopefully I can get all the bugs worked out these first 2 weeks and hit it hard next week.
Well, Mike, you came off the track and you looked really frustrated. What was going through your mind?
I was just bummed. I had a good start, and you know, I just didn't feel up to it tonight after, you know, all that went on, and I was kind of bummed to give that away. I was right where I needed to be, and so, you know, for me, that's disappointing. I don't get those too often.
Well, team effort tonight. Job well done. 2 weeks in a row, though, they had to, you know, clean up your bike, put it together in one piece. We're happy to see you up here, Mike. I know you have more fans than anybody out here tonight.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I hope they don't hit me up for a raise because I'm keeping them busy.
Mike LaRocco, always having a good time out here.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie. As we take a look at our Honda 250 main event results, your winner, Kevin Windham. He's followed by Chad Reed. We just heard from Mike LaRocco in 3rd place. Then it was Ezra Lusk in 4th, and he was followed by Tim Ferry. And there you see the rest of the riders as they go by. A great night of racing here in Phoenix, Arizona. One more time, let's send it back down to the floor and Jamie Little.
All right, I'm with 2nd place, Chad Reed. Chad, all kinds of things going on. Actually, you made the race more exciting tonight. I know that it sucks for you. You'd rather be up in the top position, but I think it gave everybody a good race.
Yeah, I think so. It, you know, it brings me down and gives me some motivation to you know, go for more. And, you know, this weekend, well, I was off. There's no doubt about it. That, you know, as soon as I saw the track, you know, yesterday morning, I just knew it wasn't a good track. It's easy, and it just wasn't challenging, you know. And during practice, I just didn't feel great. I like to have a challenge out there, you know, have something that everybody, you know, challenges on, and you got to work really, really hard for it. And tonight it was traction, and I need to work a little harder on that. But my bike worked great. Those guys did everything possible. We went through the semi, and we were able to, you know, get a lot of great tires from Bridgestone, and I'd like to thank those guys. And guys at Thorputz Unlimited, everybody just, it's up to me, and I wasn't the good guy this night.
All right, well, Dirtworks is keeping it exciting for everybody. Some tracks are good for Chad, others are better for other riders.
All right, thank you, Jamie, as we take a look at the road to Las Vegas, the points standing. First up, we'll take a look at the AMA THQ Supercross Series standings. And your leader there you see him. They continue to get shuffled around, but Chad Reed maintains his lead as we go over to the World GP, THQ World GP. It is still Tyler Evans and Grant Langston 1 and 2. Back down to Jamie.
This has happened in Kevin Windham's life since his last Supercross win. Here he is back. I know all the fans couldn't wait to see you, but Kevin, I have to ask you, what happened between you and David Vuillemin?
Yeah, well, in the first turn after the first triple, he, you know, I heard him come in there, and I tried to give him a little bit of room, and he insisted on running me up to the banner. So in the next straightaway, you know, I figured he should hear me coming up the inside, and when he didn't back off, our lines collided. I mean, I definitely was going to be the aggressor in the second corner because, you know, I don't want to be pushed around this year, you know, and I think that, you know, I just was able to let off, and he didn't, and we collided. You know, the first time I let off, the second time when I tried to run in under him, he didn't. And I felt like it was very important to get out there and get started because I know with guys like Reed and both LaRocco, all the guys that's been riding so good, and I knew this Phoenix track here was going to keep the competition close.
Well, it keeps it exciting for everybody. I know Rubin's racing. Somebody's going to be upset. Somebody's going to be very happy. But I'll tell you what, a lot of fans are happy to see this guy, Kevin Windham, back on top of the podium, getting the whole shot and taking it all the way until the end. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jamie, and well done, Kevin Windham. There you see our next show. As always, check your local listings, but it will be fantastic. So on behalf of Jamie Little and my colleague Cameron Steele, I'm Todd Harris saying good night from Bank One Ballpark, Phoenix, Arizona. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Good night from the Valley of the Sun.